chased validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt up on the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher constantly, making my own climb. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. Whoa. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we're talking about this, that, and everything in between. Oh my goodness. All right, let's straighten this out. So, look at that, y'all. I was sitting over here trying to squeeze myself into this chair. That killing me today, I tell you what. It's a very interesting day. I have not gotten positive news about the fire being completely put out from California as of yet, but I'm going to double check it after the show tonight, and I'll let you guys know tomorrow night's show that the confirmation as to how much of it is gone, if it is completely subsided, what they did subside, and what they're trying to do as a result of that catastrophe. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. We got an interesting show today. It's going to take me quite a while to go through all of the research and information that I got for you guys today, so you guys bear with me. However, if at any point in time that you guys want to jump into the show and put your 2 cents in, by all means, you can do so by clicking the link in the comment section. If you approve the link, approve the camera, then it'll bring you, or approve the mic and approve the camera, bring you into the show in real time, and then you'll be able to enjoy the show in real time with me face to face, or in some situations, you could turn your camera off, and then you could say what you want to say. We got your voice up here, and we can still hear what you have to say. We are live 7 nights a week, typically supposed to start around 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is 11 o'clock Eastern Time and 7 o'clock California time. But I understand that we did start a little bit late today because I was still putting the information together. There was so much stuff that I had to gather for tonight's show. So we're just getting started, so you haven't missed out on anything. As we dive into what's eating up 82% of your hard-earned cash, we're going to be diving into a plethora of different topics that are going to be dealing with stuff that's happened throughout the week while we go into this particular topic. Before I get started, I want to tell you I did see Elon Musk do that nice Spartan salute that kind of looks like the other salute that used to happen back when Hitler was in office. But, you know, it kind of plays to the tune of the less knowledgeable when they were accusing those guys of being Hitler anyway. So since, you know, you're going to call a man out of character and then he starts acting like it, I don't know. But let's go ahead and pay attention to what's going on with all this money being snatched up out of your pockets. So think about this for a second. Are you working harder than ever in comparison to like past work? Yet right now, you're seeing less and less in your bank account. I can tell you that you are not alone. Many people are shocked to discover that significant portions of their income vanishes without a trace. So I wanted you guys to join me as I dive deep into people's everyday finances and uncover the hidden culprits devouring your hard-earned cash and empower you to take control of your financial well-being. So I think it's safe to say that most of us are not strangers to living paycheck to paycheck. We work hard for our money, and yet it seems like it's barely enough to cover our expenses, let alone have some left over for savings or, you know, actual enjoyment. You know, I started thinking what really is going on in our economy, in our day-to-day finances that is causing this to happen. And it just, it's not just me, but, you know, I just wonder, like, what's deeper at play here? I really wanted to kind of try to figure that part out. And that's why I stumbled upon this staggering statistic of up to 82% of our hard-earned cash being consumed by unnecessary expenses. 82%. Now, that's a huge chunk of change, especially considering how hard we work for it. And I'm waiting on those to come in and start downgrading the second half of what I'm about to go through. But we've got about hour and a half worth of information to go through. And as we chime through it, feel free to chime in. But this is all factual information that is bound by statistics. So if in the event that you come across some of the information that I provided for you and you doubt the findings, make sure that you go and ask the Google lady, because she'll tell you. Excuse me. Ask Siri, ask Cortana, ask Bixby, ask Alexa, Gemini. They'll tell you. All the information that I'm telling you is, in fact, factual. But where is all of our money going as we could talk about this topic? Is it really possible that we're just not making enough money, or is there something more to it beyond inflation? I started digging deeper, and what I found out was pretty eye-opening. It turned out that a huge portion of our income is getting sucked up by excessive spending habits. So we're talking about money that could be going towards our savings and investments, or even just enjoying life, but instead it's being eaten away by unnecessary expenses. So think about it. How often do you catch yourself buying things on impulse or splurging on luxury because, well, you feel like you deserve it? And don't even get me started on subscription services. It's like they're designed to drain our wallets without us even realizing it. The thing is, these expenses add up quickly, and before we know it, we're struggling to make ends meet. We often focus on big expense. We pay attention to the big expenses like rent and mortgage and car payments. But it's the smaller, seemingly insignificant leaks that can truly sink your financial ship. These hidden drains often go unnoticed, quietly eating away at your savings. It's the daily coffee, the impulse buy, the subscription you forgot about. Individuals that go out and buy these, and I'm about to go through a list of these types of expenses. While these expenses individually seem trivial, collectively they all add up to a substantial sum over time. So let me go ahead. One of the reasons why we started our show late today, I actually have an entire list of stuff that we don't pay attention to on a regular basis that just chews away at our day-to-day expenditures. So take a load of this. A daily latte, swinging around to Starbucks on a regular basis, $35 a week. That's $140 a month, $1,680 annually. Lunch is out, close to $50 a week, around $200 a month, $2,400 a year. Subscriptions, and one subscription, because I'm not going to talk about all the many possibilities of subscriptions. If you just have Netflix will cost you a shit ton of money. But a bunch of subscriptions could accumulate an average of about $20 a week, where you're paying about $80 a month for subscriptions, which is about $960 a year. Impulse buying on a cheap side. You think, I don't really buy that much stuff that often. When you're impulse buying on a cheap side, you could be spending on average an extra $15 a week. And impulse buying could be something like going to get yourself a bag of chips this time around, the family pack, going and grabbing yourself a cake, or grabbing yourself an extra snack, an extra dessert, or something to that effect when you're grocery shopping, or just buying yourself some extra goodies while you're at the gas station. That $15 a week could be anything, where you just randomly saw something cute and decided to get it for your girlfriend. And that ends up adding up to $60 a month, which leads to adding up to about $720 a year. And that's on the low end of things, where you end up spending approximately $120 a week, which is about $480 a month, which is a whopping $5,760 a year. So this shows how seemingly small weekly expenses can translate into almost $6,000 annually. Imagine what you could do with that extra money. So what's driving this spending frenzy? For one, the cost of living is skyrocketing. Housing, food, and transportation. Everything seems to be getting more expensive by the day. And on top of that, we've got debt piling up. Whether it's student loans, credit cards, or mortgages, it's no wonder we're feeding the squeeze. And it's gonna become excessively stressful in the long run for a plethora of reasons. And I'm going to be diving into how hard that gets. Special shout out to Omni81 and Red Void at Twitch. I see you guys popping in. Liberty Twitcher, Silly Emma, AJ, Mr. Pibbs. And special shout out to you guys over on Twitch. It seems like we're getting around. And then there's going to be the lifestyle inflation. That's something that we have forgotten about. That's when our spending habits increase as our income does. We get a raise, and suddenly we're treating ourselves to fancy dinners and luxury vacations. We accept prices without question, especially for reoccurring services like phone bills, internet, and insurance. But these costs are often negotiable, and simply phone calls can lead to significant savings. Just calling them up. I tell you what, I call my phone company every week, or not every week, once a month for the past 5 months. And they have taken up to $100 or more off of my phone bill every month, even though I pay the whole bill. I give them the full base price that I normally would have paid, but then I ask them to roll it back some, and they take a bunch of money off of my bill every month. Matter of fact, yeah, my bill rolls over in about 20 days. I'm going to be calling them back in 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I'll be calling them back, and they're going to be taking a little bit more off, because if it's not working out for you, if the services as they offer it are not really what what you're supposed to be getting, they do shave some of it off. For example, your phone bill, current monthly cost is $100. There's negotiated monthly cost of $80 and annual savings of about $240 that could occur for you. I saved like $1,000 over the past 6 months on just calling my phone bill. 2 days after the billing cycle rolls over, when they mail me the statement, that's it. And I get on the phone, talk to customer care, $80 to $100 off the bill, just like that. Now, I paid the bill on the 25th, and then I called them up and asked them to give me a bill credit. So that you do that quite a few times, and now you have a $0 balance on your phone bill when your bill is issued, but you're still calling for the credit. Your internet's $80, sometimes more than that, especially if you have the internet bundled in with your cable bill, because Cox is charging almost $250 for the internet and cable package in the United States, so that you can get basic cable and limited internet service, which is somewhere around 286 megabytes per second, which is far slower than the high-speed internet from T-Mobile. But that's what they're offering for $250 a month. So you can negotiate about $60 of that monthly, which will give you an annual savings of $240 more. And then you also have the insurances, where you can talk to certain insurance companies that are charging you for certain insurances upward of $150. You can negotiate that $130, which leads you to an annual savings of $240 there, where your total monthly expenses would have been $330. You would have negotiated down about $270, which would have caused you to save approximately $720. So, as this information demonstrates, a few phone calls can result in substantial savings annually. And one of the things that we have to also remember is that housing costs are the largest expense for most households, averaging about $1,050 per month, which accounts for approximately 21 to 33% of monthly budgets. And this is going to be on the low end because we're talking about the average, not the expected, because you understand that in certain parts of the country, in the United States, that you have rent on the high side of $3,000 to $4,000 a month, and in California, you have rent on the low side of $3,000 to $5,000 a month. But nationwide, there are still a lot of places that have rent as low as $800 or $900 a month for multi-bedroom apartments or houses, and they also have areas that do still have 3-bedroom houses for rent under $1,000 a month. So the average of $1,050 per month is the middle ground between the highest rents possible and the lowest rents possible. So your rent might be higher than this, but that also means that this percentage of 21 to 33% of the monthly budget would be substantially higher if your rent is higher. But this will include the rent or the mortgage payments with property taxes and maintenance costs. Now, upgrading to larger homes or more expensive areas can lead to lifestyle inflation. Housing remains a major expense, averaging about 32.9% of the total expenditures of Americans' households. Transportation expenses averages around $819 per month. And this is, again, an average because you got some people who don't pay for transportation. They just walk and ride bicycles. And you got a lot of people that are paying almost $1,000 a month for car insurance. And that's before they start talking about car notes and gas and oil and maintenance fees and everything to that effect. So this average is like in the middle between the highest expenses for the low income average individuals expenditures, because this isn't the top tier, top 25%, top 5% when they start talking about chauffeurs and limos and stuff to that effect. But this is the average everyday blue collar worker that's spending this amount of money, which is equivalent to about 12 to 17% of your income. So the 39% from before, or the 33% from before, and the 17% now, you're upward of about 50% of your income already. And this is going to include some car payments, fuel, insurance, and maintenance. So the rising costs associated with transportation can significantly impact the monthly budget. Food expenses average about $610 per month, or roughly around 9 to 13% of the household income, which translates to approximately $9,985 annually for the average household. Where we just finished talking about yesterday how certain places like Croatia, Russia, Japan, and the Philippines, the whole standard of living is under $12,000 a year. We're talking about right now in the United States, food will cost you almost $10,000 a year, just the food. Okay. And this is going to include groceries and dining out. Now, we're also looking at utilities and other related expenses for around 10%, which is an average cost of about $734. And this is an average monthly cost. So these utilities include the electricity, the water, the internet, not necessarily your cell phone bill, and other household necessities that can also add up quickly. So these costs are often underestimated in the monthly budget because it's there until it's not. And then when it's not, you just go get it, but you don't factor in how much all of this stuff actually costs. So we're trying to figure out, well, where is 82% of our money going? Regular day-to-day operations. So in order for us to buy, sell, and invest, we would have to dial back on some of the things that are not very much essential, but we essentially go out and get it. Healthcare expenses average around $434 per month. And these are like per person averages now. So this isn't like for the family plan. This is by yourself, which is about 6% of the household income. So if you add this 16% to the 50%, you're at 66% by the time you get to the health insurances. And when you include all the personal insurances such as health insurance, life insurance, and retirement savings, the average increases to around $9,556 annually, or about 12%. So if you add this total 12% to the previous 10%, you're adding 22% to the previous 50%, which puts you at about 70% of your total income and expenditures. So spending on unhealthy habits such as smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, or fast food can lead to significant financial drains. For example, quitting smoking can save approximately $1,820 annually. Poor health choices can lead to increased medical expenses over time, impacting overall financial stability. Another thing, we were just at 72, and we're about to talk about taxes that takes up about 11% of the average household income, and that's going to bring you up to 83% of your total income, amounting to approximately $784 per month. Now, Trump's proposal to eliminate taxes on overtime pay for any hours worked beyond 40 hours per week would not be subject to federal taxes or payroll taxes. So workers who regularly work overtime would see an increase in their net pay for those additional hours, where the paycheck breakdown would be that they would have regular hours up to 40 hours a week that would be taxed normally. And then the overtime hours where the gross hour pay would be equal to the net hour pay with no deductions for federal taxes. While often considered discretionary spending, entertainment expenses can also accumulate significantly over time. This is where a lot of the trolls are going to come out of the woodwork and start trying to call me an incel and try to shame me for telling them that they're wasting their money on stuff that don't matter. But we're going to get into these details, and some of y'all ain't going to like it, and I don't care if you don't. But if you don't, feel free to say something about it, because we can debate the topic, because we did have a 5-hour podcast 2 days ago. We can have a 5-hour podcast tonight. I have no problem with that. I actually have no appointments until Friday. So we can literally run this podcast for 12 hours this time around. No problem. So the average household spending is about $3,633 annually on entertainment. And this is the average. This isn't the wasteful spender or the frugal saver. The person in the middle. As incomes increase, many individuals tend to increase their spending on non-essential items, which is again going to be more of those lifestyle inflation choices. And this can limit savings as well as the wealth building opportunities. You have unplanned purchases that can quickly add up and disrupt the budget. Because if you're buying stuff that you did not plan on buying because you just got to have it right now, and then all of a sudden that emergency that you had budgeted for occurs, now you don't have enough money to cover that emergency. Begin being mindful of spending habits, and differentiating between wants and needs is going to be essential to maintaining financial discipline. Accumulating high interest debt from credit cards or loans can erode wealth over time. High interest debt like credit cards and the debt that falls with credit cards can be particularly damaging. The interest charges can quickly spiral out of control, making it difficult to ever escape the debt cycle. Managing and paying off debt promptly is critical for financial health. While often considered discretionary when you're spending, you're going to be looking at the entertainment expense accumulating significantly over time, where we're looking at about, oh yeah, I already went over this, 3,635 of that annually. So look, so much information, I put it in there twice. That's because I wanted to make sure that you understood how important it was. And this is why. The cost of dating. Trolls come from underneath your bridges. Here we go. The cost of dating differs significantly between men and women. Waiting for the trolls to hit. With men generally bearing a higher financial burden. 84% of men report paying more for dating expenses even after 6 months of dating. Young men pay for all or most of dates about 90% of the time, and only about 2% of women pay for all or most dates. 76% of men feel guilty when accepting women's money for dates. 39% of women wish men would reject their offers to pay. 44% of women are bothered when men expect them to help pay. And some argue that men paying for debt is a form of compensation for women's sacrifices in relationships and the gender pay gap. And before I go any further, what the hell sacrifices are you making in a relationship? Help me understand that. If there's some ladies up here, make sure y'all like and subscribe as y'all pop in here. If there's some ladies up in here that know what these statistics are talking about, please chime in and help me understand that. What sacrifices are women making in relationships that require, first of all, in the relationship sacrifice that requires you before the relationship, before the sacrifice, to be compensated for dating. Now, this isn't talking about like dating, the man paying for the dinner dates and the entertainment and stuff like that while they're in the relationship because the woman is filling the feminine roles. We're talking about the women that are being compensated for first dates, second dates, third dates, where the women have not chosen to commit to the man yet. She has not put forth any monetary or physical effort towards the relationship or the success of the relationship or the man in and of himself, where her value is based on her attractiveness and her ability to put out with that man, which isn't that valuable because you've got some women that'll do it for free. Now, when women say that they're making sacrifices in the relationships, a sacrifice in the relationship would be getting pregnant and actually having that child. So 3 people and thumbnails agree. 3 people and 2 thumbs agree. Well, Cody, there's going to be more than 3 people and 2 thumbs. Because I don't know where you're getting just 3 people from, because apparently they're popping in and actually there's well over 30 of you guys that have just jumped in here. We are flipping through the shorts reel, Cody. So while you think that they're in the hey, Cody, remember 2 days ago when we were sitting here having that debate? You were here with the debate. 6,000 people were here. You couldn't see it. But 6,000 people were here throughout the podcast. Yeah, I know it's 4 people and 4 thumbs now. Well, if you think so, that they're showing highs of over 20 at a time on here. So there's going to be some in and outs because you don't have a bunch of people hanging out here for the longest period of time. They're probably counting the 4 people that are still looking at this consistently past 60 seconds versus the people that come in, look at it, and they're like, nope, I thought this was going to be something else. Okay, call okay, call me 4 feet. I'll walk a lot. Hey, it is what it is. So 83% of women report that both partners contribute to dating expenses after 6 months. Some women feel they should contribute more if they earn more than their partner. Men are spending an average of $861 per year on dating, which is $361 more than women, because women spend an average of $500 per year on dating. Now, women often invest in pre-date preparation, and that might be the sacrifices that those women were talking about when they were saying that they put a lot into the relationship, when men don't care about the pre-dating stuff that you do, like hair, makeup, and new clothes. As long as you are modestly dressed and natural, we will like you for your natural beauty. Women don't realize that yet, but once they do, they will save tons of money on unnecessary stuff that makes them look like a porcelain china doll, which is completely artificial. So these beauty related expenses can add up to a hefty chunk of change, where women are spending probably a third, if not 2/3 of their income on beauty products and other such, just to look attractive. It becomes a very, very expensive investment. Now, typically, this investment was supposed to be, from back in the day, the ability to attract and secure a man that would fund her existence. But in modern times, it's just for the women to feel positive about themselves, because they attract men that have money so that they can spend money on them, but they're not attracting a man that will become a husband that will spend the rest of his life supporting her. When it comes to clubbing, men tend to spend more on drinks overall. 15% of men are likely to have six or more drinks in an average night out, compared to women who typically have 1 to 3 drinks. And this is an average, because I know some women that can down 15, 20 drinks in a night. I also know some men that can do 30 or 40 drinks in a night. But you have to remember, this statistic is not the pregame statistic. This is the actual at the club, for those people who like to be fashionably late, show up to the club at midnight, and down 6 drinks before the last call at 3 a.m. Now, men are often expected to buy drinks for women, further increasing their expenditures. And women often receive drink discounts. And many clubs offer ladies' night with free or discounted drinks for women. And some venues provide free drink tickets to women, where there is a well understood price discrimination, where clubs often charge men higher entry fees, which may include or influence drink prices. This practice aims to attract more women, which in turn attract more men willing to pay higher prices. Cody says, club name sits with be over hut too long. Oh, sit with Beaver Hut too long. $2 gone. $2 gone. Look. All right. He's like, I'm usually sleeping on their floor. I'm not gonna cap, bro. I don't go to the clubs no more. When I was about 20 years ago, I used to go with my homeboys because I was a designated driver. They would talk me into going because they would fill my tank and pay my cover and buy my drinks while I was out there. I did not want to go. And then when I went, one of the reasons why I didn't want to go is because they would drink too much, and 1 or 2 outcomes would occur. I would have to carry drunk friends back to the car, or stop them from getting involved into a bar fight, or get them out of the bar fight because I was too late. Either scenario was not healthy. So I was like, nah, I'm not doing it. And then when it comes down to going out to the bars by myself, I think about the fact that I could sit here at my house on my podcast and drink my glass of wine out of my Disney cup and enjoy the same experience, where the wine that I have stored in my box wine collection set, look at that, sitting on the counter in the kitchen, and I can just go in there and tap the thing, and I can get me a box of box wine from Walmart for $20, and that should have lasted me like 3 weeks. I just spent $40 in the month for 6 weeks worth of wine, as opposed to the prices that I would have been paying at the club, plus parking, plus vandalism, plus the chick that's going to make you buy her drinks before so that she could talk to you, and then when you stop buying her drinks, she stops talking to you, kind of situation. And he said, oh, I had my friend drive me there in my own car so I could go to sleep on the on the strip club floor on my birthday. I was lonely, bro. You got people who go to strip clubs not for the women. Do you know that? Real talk. If you really want to go clubbing with your homeboys, guys' night out, the strip club is the best place to go. You know why? If you go there early, there's no cover. The drink prices are far cheaper than a nightclub. The women are going to do the exact same thing in the strip club that they're going to do at the nightclub, but the difference between the two is that the women at the strip club are going to be naked while they're doing it. Exact same behavior. Now, fact is, while, there are rules at the strip club, if you're going someplace to get drunk, you want to do it fiscally responsibly. Going to a strip club is the best place to go because they already got the women there. So they're not going to charge overrated prices in order for you to get in and spend money. The women are already there. So you just go there and pay regular prices to get drunk. You can also find some holes in the wall that'll put some money on the books where you can buy drinks under the table after hours in cities and states where they have drinking limits at 3 a.m. and the after hours clubs will still be selling you alcohol at 4 to 5 in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning, you're walking out of the club, the sun rose an hour and a half ago, and you're drunk off your ass, and you're like, I got to go to work today. Yeah, so when you pass out on your birthday, you had a good day. I'm surprised that they didn't fall and sit on your face while you were knocked out. I don't understand. He said, put a box of wine above your front door as a booby trap. Oh, yeah, that's good. The key is to make sure that you owe them money afterwards. That's their expectation. You want to open up a tab and you want to leave. Lord have mercy. Make sure that y'all like and subscribe. So there's 8 people liking it already. Hey, look, Cody, they could be hitting the hearts and smiley faces and 100s because this is actually scrolling through the shorts feed as well. So y'all could be mashing those heart buttons at the same time, in addition to hitting that like button. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel because we are live 7 nights a week. Cody's back from yesterday, so I got to add Cody to the list of special thanks for tomorrow's show because I didn't do it from last night. I was tired. I finished yesterday's show and the day before yesterday's show, and I did so much stuff that I was like, nah. I didn't even get a chance to take a nap because I'm trying to close a deal. So while I work overnight, the agents were working in the daytime, so I had to work throughout the day. And I didn't even get an hour and a half power nap. So I was like, nah, I got to finish the show. I got to set up the rest of the week. So that's what I did. I set up the week. And now I'm about to take me a long nap after today's podcast. Rudimus, what's going on, bro? And then I'll be able to add Cody. And because I got the list set up for the live comment set up for the replay, I'll be able to go back and replay the show and grab all of the positive commenters from yesterday's show, today's show, and Cody from Monday and today's show, because Cody was here on Monday, and add you guys up to the special thanks list that scrolls across the top of the screen. I try my best to scroll across the top of the screen like that. There you go. Oh, good. What about you? Hey, I am living a dream. We're working on closing. We've got the appraiser going over, right? Well, we got the inspector going over first so that we can then go to the appraiser because it was once appraised at a reasonable rate. Now we're about to look for a new appraisal based on current conditions, and we're going to see what's going on as we get some tax exemptions underway. So we're off to a good start, but things usually take time. It usually takes 30 to 60 days to close. So we're still working on that real estate deal, and as soon as we finish closing out on that real estate deal, I'll let you guys know. So Cody, remember 2 days ago when him and I think it was Paul that was heckling about the business and finance and investing and stuff. And he asked me, do I do it too? Yes, I'm actually working on a real estate deal right now. But trying to ride a boat with Miss Pearl and SpongeBob through town on Broadway. Bro, if you go down to Broadway, you asking to get into a world of trouble if you're going down on Broadway. Hey, I appreciate you, Ruderus. I appreciate you. It's always good to hear from you, man. One day I'm going to have to take time out of my day. And, I have you on that chess.com thing as one of the friends, I do believe. So I should be able to try to find a way to, and if not, I can get your username from Mr. Pibbs, and I can send you a match request, and then we can go back and forth on some chess games. Because we used to do that on the show because Mr. Pibbs is a gamer. And we used to play games with the fans on the show. But I like to educate people. I don't like to just, play games. I like to educate people on things because it's all about learning and bettering ourselves. Because this is supposed to be common knowledge, and common knowledge is only common if everybody's talking about it. So in order for us to talk about common knowledge, I would have to tell you guys what. What knowledge is out there for you guys to have enough knowledge to ask questions about that stuff. So Cody said 119 down and 87 and got my W-2 nailed to my wall because it's the only mail I ever get. LOL for a long time. Bro, you don't want to dial 119. You want to dial 112. And they'll come get you. And I don't get my W-2. Well, I work for myself, so I don't get W-2s anymore. But I used to not get my W-2s. I used to use my last paycheck to do taxes. It is tax time right now, and Joe Mastrano, who was on the show a few months ago, does do taxes, and you guys need to reach out if you really want your taxes done by a highly skilled, highly experienced tax CPA, and he'll help you save as much as $10,000 on your taxes, if not more, and make sure that you're not leaving no money on the table. So make sure that you guys double check that. He says real estate agents don't like me. Why do real estate agents not like you? Miles per hour. I don't know. Look, I got people calling me right now. He's like, oh heck no. It ain't April. Well, you're supposed to turn it in before April 14th. So by it being January, a lot of y'all aren't going to get y'all W-2s until the 31st, between the 31st of January and the 2nd of the 14th of February. So not too many people are going to start doing their taxes until the middle of February. But anybody who's entitled to a tax return, if you start working on that right now, you'll get your taxes from 2021, be able to claim that tax return. And hopefully get you some extra money in your pocket this year. So make sure that you go and file early, because that money is only going to be there for first come, first serve. And when they run out of it, you're not going to qualify because you didn't get in there soon enough. So just remember that. Moving on. The cost disparity in dating reflects persistent traditional gender norms, despite some shifts towards more egalitarian practices. This financial imbalance continues to be a topic of debate in discussions about gender equality and dating expectations. If we consider the frequency of dating, 52.9% of people typically go on 1 or 2 dates per month, and 41.9% meet up with a match 3 or more times per month. And men face being stood up twice before meeting their ideal partner, while women are stood up once. Men go on 8 dates, 3 blind dates, and meet 3 people online before finding the one. Women go on 7 dates, 2 blind dates, and 2 dates with someone they meet online before they find the one. So think about the average person that's trying to get out there and try to make it work. and you think about how much these individuals are paying to get out there and make it work, and you're looking at dating could be costly towards your budget. Cody says, I didn't make much, but it was spent back to me. It was sent back to me. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So if you have enough deductions and you're broke, they'll give you back all your W-2 money. They won't give you extra money, but they'll give you back your W-2 money. So you got to make sure that you get out there and go try to claim it. Some people report going on no dates in a year, while others go on multiple dates per month. One 27-year-old woman reported going on at least 4 dates a month. A 40-year-old man reported going on about 25 first dates in a year. Whoa. Let's factor that out, because this is the average man has to deal with this. 25 first dates in a year. How many that do you divide that by 12? What's that? 2 to 3 dates a month? 2 to 3 first dates a month? In order to and you still haven't found a consistent person to link up with. This is 25 first dates in a year. Now, another issue that we have is the rising cost a child can consume, with significant portions of a family's budget averaging around 19% of the annual income. So when we were talking about before, we were at 83% of an individual's income with day-to-day expenses. Now we have 19% more that we're going to add to the fold. That's 102% if you put all of the statistics together, where individuals are owing more than they make. That's one of the reasons why we don't have the bottom 99% stays at the bottom. And also with that particular cost for children, that would explain why women are prolonging child rearing until later years, because they want to increase their financial stability before they acquire the expense of childhood. The essential costs to raise a small child have increased, with families spending approximately $21,681 annually on necessities such as food, clothes, and childcare. So when the men are being put on child support and they're paying $30,000 a year for childcare, these men that are making $60,000 a year are giving a half of their income to the woman for childcare, which is why when Donald Trump said that if the man is paying for child support, the woman can't claim child on taxes, that is a lifesaver for the guy, because when he gets his tax return back and he gets all those deductions, his deductions that come back to him gives him the ability to give her that money again for next year, which makes it make sense. Cody says, drive a giant French fry machine potato at their dining room table as the waiter. You were shooting French fry making potato shooting machine at the people in the restaurant. Go ahead, bro. That's how you get their attention, though. So, got a story for you. We have a friend of mine who was just promoted. She was thrilled, but soon found herself upgrading her car, moving into a fancier apartment, and even hiring a personal trainer. It's like she felt like she needed to keep up with her new status, and before she knew it, her entire paycheck was being devoured by the new expenses. But the thing is, it doesn't have to be like this. The key to breaking free from this cycle of excessive spending is to take control of our finances, and we need to be mindful of where our money is going and make conscious decisions about how we are choosing to spend it. It is not about depriving ourselves of things we enjoy, but being intentional with our hard-earned cash. Cody says, possibilities. I know, right? He's no way I'm getting my Britney Spears on again. Britney Spears be tripping, bro. She met Kevin Federline, probably the only man that I remember that was able to marry a rich woman and live off of her success. Most of us can't pull that off. We might find us a woman that might decide to cash out on us every now and again, but most of us can't find that. Uh, this is where things get rocky. So what can we do about this? What can we do about these expenses? Now that we've identified the culprits, let's talk about solutions. You can reclaim control of your financial future. For starters, we need to get real about our spending habits. We need to track our expenses, identify areas where we can cut back, and make a budget that actually works for us. It's not rocket science, but it does take discipline and commitment. And trust me, it will pay off. It is very much worth it. Creating a budget and tracking your expenses is the first step. Several apps and tools can help you track spending, identify areas for improvement, and manage your budget effectively. And if you want to go back and look at one of the shows that I gave you guys about how to use budget apps and AI equipment that can help you with your budgeting and spending, the fintech story, the topic that we had. Yeah, actually, it was the fintech topic that I was talking about this. And then there's 4 or 5 investing and budgeting shows that I've done in the past 2 months that you can go back and take a look at as well, so that you can get some insight on how you can work towards saving some of your money. Now, set up automatic transfers to your savings account. Even small, regular contributions can add up over time. Creating financial cushions and building wealth. Remember that you want to utilize accounts that do not have service fees, monthly service fees, because the difference between the high interest rates will offset the amount of interest that you receive on that particular investment over time. Cody says, drive Grubhub in a, what is that? Malagami of a machine that can't stop. I probably said that word wrong. But you are driving Grubhub, and you're going to be trying to make you some money driving. That's not going to make you a lot of money. Grubhub is not going to make you. Me and my homeboy used to do Postmates during the pandemic. My homeboy does Uber right now. He's thinking about being a trucker because Uber is starting to cost him more money. Uber is not making him that much money. It is a peer review situation. So if you get too many thumbs down for any reason, it doesn't even have to be a legitimate reason. You get too many thumbs down or you get too many 1 stars, then you get fired off of that particular type of job. It's not a work for yourself kind of thing. It is a subcontracted work for someone else kind of thing, and you have to meet their standards, expectations, and criteria. But my homeboy was averaging about $25 a day net pay before food expenses such as gas, car repairs, and other such, where when you take out the average of how much he has to pay repay for all those miles that he puts on his Jetta, probably making around $15 to $18 an hour before taxes. So it's a job, but I mean, I'm not going to say that it's like the best thing. It's a really good side hustle when you're trying to make ends meet and you don't want to go to Amscot and borrow money or the check cashing place or a cash advance place and borrow money. It's a good way to go get your little hustle on because you don't have to do it regularly. And you could, if you have an Uber account or a Postmates or Uber Eats account, then you could probably get same day payments direct deposited to your bank account after a full day's work. So you don't necessarily have to do it every day, but you get paid every day. It's worth doing. It's worth looking into. Consider investing your savings in generating returns. Consult a financial advisor to discuss investment options that align with your goals and risk tolerance. You can also go to some of my older shows that we're talking about ways that you can invest, because I listed about 20 or 30 different locations where you can invest, 3 or 4 different platforms, including TD Ameritrade, Acorn, Coin, with Coinbase, and Stash, STASH, where you can invest and make money over time. So you can do this yourself, or you can talk to an advisor. The FinTech show can talk to you. I talk to you guys about using software, AI software, to help you with investing. I've talked to you guys about trade bots before and how you can invest using trade bots. I would particularly use trade bots with Bitcoin over using trade bots for the regular stock market. But you could also be a day trader, and you could get advisors to help you with day trading. And these are ways that could help you with building money. Coinstar and George Washington, or gorgeous George Washington. George Washington is not gorgeous, but you could particularly try Coinstar. See how that works. It's better than that triple diamond platinum package on the hub. I can tell you that. So taking control of your finances is very empowering, and by identifying the hidden drains in your cash and implementing smart strategies, you can achieve your financial goals and build a secure future. So don't let your hard-earned money slip away. While major expenses like housing and transportation are well-known budget busters, minor expenses such as child rearing costs, food, utilities, personal insurance, and entertainment can collectively consume a substantial portion of your income. About to just make a toll booth, bro. If you could control the neighborhood and put a toll booth there where they got to pay to get in and pay to get out, or they got to pay to get in if they can get out for free and you charge double for them to get in. That's one step away from charging an HOA status. It's crazy, isn't it? But guess what? The US government beat us to it. They're charging tolls for us to drive on the streets. And then to keep us from paying attention to the fact that they have tolls, what they're doing is in some states, they got the tolls on the street lights above the road, the billboard signs that pass overhead. They've got tolls there, taking pictures of your license plates as you drive through. It's crazy. You got to be careful out there. You can't get on an interstate on a long distance road and not get hit by a toll. You're going to have to call. That's the cost of doing business. He says, if it makes sense, it makes money. That's the reason why Donald Trump is about to get 50% of TikTok so that they can make that trillions of dollars, because if the American companies are not making it, then they're not going to let somebody else make trillions of dollars. That's just, they're not going to make it work like that. He says, number Kumo taking the bridge name, LOL. I don't know who that is. Anywho, being mindful of these smaller but frequent expenses is crucial for effective budgeting and financial planning. So by tracking these costly expenses, individuals can identify areas where they might cut back to improve their overall financial health. Oh, you said ex-governor of New York. Oh, there was a, what's his name, was supposed to be trying to buy TikTok also. He was a ex owner or coach of, I think, Kansas City football team. Him and Elon Musk and Donald Trump buy a bunch of shares in TikTok. So if TikTok is about to be bought up by America, y'all better go buy y'all a bunch of shares of TikTok since y'all using it. Buy shares in the product that you spend money on. That way you can make profits back. I don't know. Ain't nobody thought about that before I said it today. Should have had 1 million shares right now. John Banner grows bud after legalizing it. He joins the Pelosi's. Bro, they illegalized bud so that because they couldn't regulate it. That's the only reason why they illegalized it. Now they legalized it, but it's still criminalized. So you can grow bud in distribution states. You can grow bud legally in your backyard. but you got to get a permit for it. So if you don't get a permit for it, you're illegally growing bud. You can still catch a felony for having bud. You are legally able to be in possession of bud, but bud is being considered medication. So now you can get driving under narcotics, driving under medication, even though they're not going to give you a Schedule 1 a felony for possession of illegal narcotics. They're still going to give you a driving under the influence citation for being in possession of the information, because you can't prove that you're not screwed up while you're driving the vehicle. You also can still be drug tested on a job and be fired for the job, because while you can do whatever you want to do in your personal life, you're still supposed to be sober on the job. So now, also, there's another thing. Before they legalized the bud, guess what else they did? They patented most of the seeds. So anyone who's growing weed from seeds that they got from buying bud from somebody who sells them seeds and stems, those seeds could belong to somebody who has patent rights to it. Now, while you can grow bud in your backyard, you can use some Chia Pet and Miracle Grow formulas to get you a nice big bud industry going on in your backyard. If somebody traces the bud distribution from your property to a seed that is owned by somebody else in a big business, they can then sue you for royalties based on the quantity of bud that you can produce off of your property, where you would have to reimburse them compensation for patent rights, patent infringement. It's still a business. So while you're not going to be put in prison for possession with the intent to distribute, they can still take you to court. Oh, you talk about Richard Nixon? And my vehicle is a dining room table. Well, I was actually thinking about getting one of those, what are they called? Renova Reservaries. You know what I'm talking about? That tank SUV. It's like $500,000. I ain't getting it. It's just one of those things in the back of my mind where if I have $3 million, I might spend $500,000 on getting one of those, because I want a bulletproof vehicle that would be able to deal with the shots fired. Oh, we got the wrong car. You see these situations where the police officers are just running people down and trying to kill them for absolutely no reason, and then they realize they got the wrong person. Bro, I was looking at a traffic stop on TikTok just yesterday, and I'm like, bro, I am not getting out the car until you reasonably tell me what the fuck is going on. You got to have reasonable articulable suspicion before you get me out the car. I don't care if I'm going to jail for resisting arrest or obstruction. I'll go to jail for obstruction, but you're not getting me out of that damn car until you tell me what the hell's going on. And if you got the wrong guy, then you're not going to be able to justify instructing me to get out of the vehicle when you got the wrong guy. You're gonna have to. I will stop. I will hang out, and I will stay in my car until you tell me what's going on. But if you got a bulletproof car, you can do that. If you don't got a bulletproof car, you can't do that, because they'll shoot you in the car. You'll get taken out like training day. Seems weird. Probably flooded everybody's stuff with that. Oh yeah, it probably did. Probably did. Oh! You see how they blew up a Tesla truck already? So yeah, they blew up a Tesla truck already. So Tesla trucks are not. And by the way, Tesla trucks are not all that bulletproof. They are bullet resistant to 9mm and 22mm firearms. So you can hit that bad boy with a 30-06. You can go after that zombie with probably a Draco, AK-47, M4, stuff to that effect. You can knock it back, and it ain't gonna do too much for you. But the average police officer has a 9mm. It doesn't do too well against a 45, but not very many police officers have a 45 as a standard issue firearm. Federal agents have 45s, Colt 45s, and 50 caliber handguns. And a Colt 45 or a 50 caliber handgun will go through that truck, windshield and all. and you're also paying like $125,000-$130,000 to get the Cybertruck, and it is only bulletproof to them kids with the Glock switch. That's the only one since it's really going to hold back on, and it's resistant, not proof, which means that the bullets will be slowed down. It might reduce injury, but it's not going to really stop the truck from being riddled with bullets. He said you can get the first version, and the upgraded version is better. No, the upgraded version of the Tesla Cybertruck is actually the $130,000 one that I referred to, because the base model one, they don't have bulletproof windows on the base model one, even though it was supposed to come standard. And they have not put out the tri-motor yet. They have I think they have the dual motor out right now. They have not put out the single motor yet, but they do have the dual motor out there right now. And yeah, you're going to buy first gen, and you're going to pay an extra $25,000 to get first gen right now in the next 30 days. I'm not doing that. I'll wait because you've got rust problems, you've got fender bending problems, you've got frame bending problems, and this is supposed to be 30 times rolled steel. I'll wait because worst case scenario, I can take the membership holding for the pre-order for the Cybertruck and redirect that to going and getting that $30,000 Cybertruck, not the Cybertruck, the driverless taxi that he's got. I don't know what he's calling it once it gets released in 2026. It's supposed to be released either first or second quarter of 2026. It's a $30,000 car that drives itself, and I would get it. And when I park it at the house, I would park it off the ground so that I don't have to worry about it being flooded. But I would get that when I don't feel that's the perfect car to take and go to the club, but it's only rear seats. It's not a 4-seater, it's a 2-seater, and the 2 seats are the 2 back seats. It's not like you're on the dashboard, it's in the back seats. So everything is going to be voice command or controlled by your cell phone, and it's going to take you wherever it's going to take you. I can't remember the name of that movie that I seen on Netflix where the everybody had a Tesla. Like, no shit, everybody had a Tesla. It was autopilot, everything. And in this movie, and they all look like the Model Ys, the Model X, and the Cybertrucks. And this machine took over the controls of the Tesla and crashed it. I was like, yo, that's deep. But yeah, that's what they got going on. So that's the benefit of having a self-driving vehicle, is that you can't get a DUI because you're not driving. You can fall asleep in the back of that bad boy because you can't drive it. And you'll never get a DUI. They can't charge you they can give you a ticket for the vehicle performing traffic violations, but they cannot arrest you personally for being under the influence of anything while you're in that particular type of vehicle. And if you do like Elon Musk said and sign that bad boy up for taxi services, you can autopilot that son of a bitch, send it out there, let it go do what it's got to do, bring it back at 20% power, and you can make a bunch of money on that, where you don't have to worry about when you're not using it. So if you want to drive yourself, you can put your Tesla to work and let your Tesla make money for you. If it's drawing $10,000 or $15,000 a year profit off of the car, and the car costs $30,000, you put it to work 6 months out of the year every year for 3 years, and it paid for itself. So he said the 1977 Lincoln Town Car with 1/4 steel peels put. Oh, peel out. Oh yeah, I love the 70s. The 70s and 80 model cars were the best ones to get back in the day. And you now can get a 2024 Lincoln. You got to get the black edition, the limited black edition. But they've got hybrid cars. They have hybrid cars. They have one company that I found right now that will bulletproof your car. You can buy a bulletproof Toyota Camry, Cadillac, Suburban, and it's like stage 4 bulletproof. So like outside of grenades, it's got you. So it's expensive though. It's not cheap. You're looking at a $200,000 car, but if you know that you go in places where you're going to get shot at, or if you're a minority and you're going to be driving around police officers, you might want to just invest in getting yourself a bulletproof car because you already know they're coming out guns drawn. You ain't got to do nothing wrong. Your seatbelt wasn't on. They're coming out guns drawn. So you gotta be careful. But if you're gonna get your bulletproof car, you want to get one with like a V12, so fast as hell. You want one of them Hellcat demon engines inside of you, so that way you can get up and go, because you'll get up and go and got up and went. You're like 2 radio signals away from outbeating the helicopter, and you able to get gone. I know some places where you can go to get like the labeling thing that can cover your license plate, where they can't take pictures and video your license plate, but that's illegal though. So yeah, but if you put it up there, they at least won't be able to find you at first. So you might be able to get away if they can't identify you. You know, whatever you got to do to survive. Cadillac is the only one that flies. Remember? Cadillac be getting it, bro. Like, you can find so many Cadillacs in so many different areas right now. I got a Cadillac right now, matter of fact, from 2008. Motherfucker, sexy as hell. Older than the song, bitch. It's old. And I mean, when you think about a Cadillac is old, ladies, you got to understand, if a 2008 Cadillac is old, women are valued like Cadillacs are valued. Just throwing that out there real quick. You just got to think about it. Cody says, my car is an 08. Look, we got cars from the same year. I got an 03 Chrysler 300 Chrysler 300M, but you've got an 08. What is that? Akati? I don't even know what that is, with a red sticker, and her name is Bernadette. At least you still got the power seats and the power windows on it. I didn't name mine. I had one that I had named a long time ago. I forgot what I called it. My mom had one that was called the Silver Slipper. That son of a bitch was good. It's a strange addiction. I love my cars. I love cars too. Ford Lightning is sick, but Ford Lightning sucks for power consumption when you start weighing that bad boy down. So does Tesla. Tesla is also a tough one to deal with overloading it. When you're riding it by yourself, oh yeah, it does match the estimated driving capacities. But the problem that it has is that it will not provide you with the the mileage that you're looking for if you max out the weight capacity. It's just like when you're burning a lot more gas when you weigh down your vehicle when you're moving. It's just that with an electric car that has 300 to 500 miles on it as a rating, and you overload it, now you only got like 75 to 100 miles on it, and now you got to go charge that bad boy back up. So you cannot gauge your trip with an electric car the way you gauge your trip with a gas powered car, because with a gas powered car, you could put 2 or 3 gas cans in the back of the car, and if you missed the gas station, you could just pull over and pump gas into your car. With an electric car, if you didn't mount solar panels onto the ceiling, you're not going to be able to overshoot an electric charge station and say, oh dang, I could just pull over to the side of the road and plug my car up to a battery that's going to operate that. It just doesn't work that way. Jump boxes don't feed power to the car, so it only jolts the car to start it back up. You're still going to need to use a regen system for the Cybertrucks or the electric cars to help regenerate some of the electric power on the vehicles, and then you're just going to have to pull over and wait 4 to 6 hours with a supercharger to charge that bad boy up somewhere. Maybe once you get down to about 10% power, now's the time to plug the car up, walk to the nearest hotel, and call it a night. But you're not doing a 2,000-mile journey with an electric car in one day. It's not happening. You're not driving 36 hours with an electric car nonstop. It's not happening. You're going to have to park that bad boy. If you have 2 electric vehicles and one's on a trailer, you might be able to drive one, drive the other, and then park them both, and then charge them both up at the same time and make twice the distance. That might work. But if you're just one, that's not going to work. And I agree, GMC is really good. He said, bada bing, balance, boom. So what? There is a lot of balance in that. I heard my cousin drive all the way to a major city while sleeping. That can be done if you've got an electric car. Actually, remember Cadillac had one of the first driverless cars outside of Audi, because Audi had that driverless car that parks itself, but it only parks itself. That's it. It doesn't go anywhere. Cadillac was outside of Tesla. Cadillac was the first gas-powered vehicle that had an autopilot system on it, where they drove congressmen to the White House or to the airport from the White House. And that was a good thing back when Tesla vehicles were not following the correct GPS instructions and driving off cliffs and blowing up and everything like that. So probably why they don't have the AI system in the Cybertruck, which I thought was a slap in the face, because why are you selling a $130,000 Cybertruck with no self-driving capabilities, but you're selling a $30,000 car with self-driving capabilities? I would pay the extra $20,000 or $30,000 that's required for you to put the bulletproof qualifications onto that self-driving car. Because think about this. If you have a self-driving car that doesn't stop for police until you get to your destination, can I really get arrested for fleeing from police officers if I'm not driving the car? Just saying. It's like, I'm not driving the car. So I can't, it stops when it gets to its destination. I'm not driving the car. So that's an interesting day in traffic court. Because they're going to be like, well, what do you have to say for yourself? Well, Your Honor, I saw everything. I was one of the passengers. Remember, if you go to traffic court, you're not supposed to plead. You're just supposed to keep telling them, well, Your Honor, I was one of the passengers. I wasn't driving, but I seen everything. They go, well, how do you plead? Well, how am I supposed to plead? I was one of the passengers and I saw everything. Never say you did or did not do anything. Just say, I saw it all. I'm a witness. Witnesses are not supposed to plead guilty or not guilty. Only the suspect is. So I saw it all. That's how you slip through the cracks. I actually had somebody, the judge dropped a case on me one time when I did that. It's very interesting. Cody says, I like the idea of green energy, a less car and traffic. Well, if we had flying cars, we'd have less traffic jams. I'm all for green energy to an extent, because if you see how Florida blew up, caught on fire, burned to the ground because of that flood that happened, all them Teslas, because Tesla's the most popular vehicle in the market. There are a few like Kias and everything like that. But all the electric cars that got water damage from the flood and burned down all those people's houses. And now there are certain insurance companies that are not insuring electric cars. That's going to be an issue, because you have to have insurance on your car to drive it. You have to have, I can't say that the laws will get you ticketed for a car operating on its own without insurance, because you have to have insurance in the car for you to operate the car. But if the car's operating itself, can they really give the passengers of the car tickets for riding in a car with no insurance on it or registration on it? Because that ticket typically goes to the driver. And if the driver is an AI, who do you ticket for uninsured motorists? Who do you ticket for no seatbelts? Just saying. Stuff to think about. And I'm George Jetson. All right. So, by recognizing these lifestyle choices that contribute to significant expenses, individuals can make informed decisions to improve their financial health. Strategies such as budgeting, tracking expenses, living below their means, and prioritizing essential spending over discretionary items can help mitigate the impact of the cost and overall finances. Now, reducing unnecessary expenditures also for better savings and investment opportunities ultimately leads to greater financial stability and security. So it's time to take a hard look at our spending habits and make change. We deserve to keep more of our hard-earned cash and to use it in a way that truly brings us joy and fulfillment. So, if you guys are struggling with financial stress, I want to hear from you. Share your own experiences in the comments like Cody's been doing today. And make sure that you guys keep a look, because we have the rest of the shows. For Cody, remember your boy was telling me that the NAACP is run by black folks. Well, it's not. I'm doing a show about it on Saturday. And its inception wasn't exclusively black people either. So I'm going to be going through the history of the NAACP, and I'm going to be going through the history of the DEI programs, so that we can kind of talk about how it is or is not benefiting the minority population since their inception. So make sure that you take a look at that. He says all the Dutch people pray. And all the Jewish people are about to start getting rich because they're the ones that's counting your money. Accountants, tax agents. And make sure that you guys like and subscribe. If you haven't done so yet, hit that notification button, because it's going to let you know when we go live, because we're supposed to go live at 10 o'clock Central Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock California time, but sometimes we start on CP time. Sometimes we're 10-15 minutes late. Today we're a half hour late because I had to piece together 2 hours worth of information. Boy, I tell you. Well, technically hour and 15 minutes because it started 30 minutes late. So make sure that you keep an eye out for the rest of our videos. We're going to be sharing practical tips on even more practical tips, because we've already shared a bunch. We're going to be sharing more practical tips on budgeting and saving, and we're going to be giving you guys more information on where you can put your money so that you can invest your money wisely, build yourself up a significant retirement plan so that you can stop working and keep making money, because that's actually probably one of the most beneficial things that you can do in your 20-year plan. And I keep telling everybody to make a 20-year plan, stick to it. He said, pirate caption, on a wavy sea. You have been a blast, Cody. He said, I was in the pirate quarters and they were waving at me. That's a good dad joke. I gotta tell you, man, it's been a long day. It's been a long day, but it's good to be able to have fun like this. It's good to be able to sit here and chat with everybody and provide you guys with a lot of information that y'all can use, that y'all can benefit and grow from. I tell you guys all the time, Captain. I look. I seen TION and I thought caption. Okay, so look, this is the problem, Cody. Because him said that I can't read because I'm mispronouncing some of the words. Now, these are prescription glasses, and these prescription glasses cost $850 a piece. So I don't throw out that kind of money that often. And this prescription is 2 years old. So clearly I'm going to have to get me a new prescription, get me a new pair of glasses, but it's $70 for a pair of, it's $70 for the exam, and then $850 for the glasses. So while I have 2 pairs of these, which is $1,700 for 2 pairs of glasses, I'm not spending that kind of money every year. So when I start having problems with being able to read, because I am nearsighted, I am good enough to hit my target 40 yards downstream. But when it comes down to telling if that's an A or an O, not so much so. So starting to deal with a little bit of blurred vision. Can I identify my target from 40 yards away? No, I can't tell you who or what it is, but I can tell you that I hit it. I can tell you that I hit the target. You're talking about aiming for center mass. I'm talking about aiming for the top 75% of center mass. So it goes right above the body armor, hit them in the throat. And if they duck, hit them in the forehead, or hit them in the jaw, knock the jaw loose. They ain't saying nothing after that. It gets the point across. Cody says, I just always thought it was funny to be a pirate captain on a pirate ship, because you'd be stuck being the captain, and that seems like it not be bueno. No bueno. Well, you do got a point there. Being on a pirate ship, if you're the captain on the ship, it doesn't matter if it's a pirate ship or a cruise ship. You're the captain on the ship. Everybody's got to follow your instructions, or you can start throwing people overboard. That's the worst way to get fired. Because when you get thrown off the job when you're fired, they just walk you out the front door and you get in your car and drive away. If you get fired on a cruise ship, or if you get fired on an airplane, bro, like you're not even getting a parachute. They're just chucking you. Parachutes are for the employees. I'm just splitting hairs here. So that is all I have for you for today. I actually managed to get through. That was 40 pages worth of information. He said the new movie with Mark Wahlberg, Flight. Oh, you're Flight Risk. Yeah, I just seen a preview about that. Oh, so since we're talking about movies real quick, have you seen Bad Boys? Have you seen the new Bad Boys? Because the new Bad Boys came out. They had a couple different movies that came out on Netflix. I feel like I should do a whole show about all the really wild stuff that came out on Netflix recently, because they got some pretty good stuff that I've been able to try to binge watch when I wasn't killing myself. Y'all need a pilot. You right. They got some pretty good movies out there right now. They got some that make you think. They got some that mind benders but the K drama is starting to become really deep. Look at this, man. I got notifications. I got stuff going on. I got alarm clocks. It's like, don't forget to check your money. Don't forget to check your money. I got an email from some of my students in Asia. So I got to get back to them after the show, figure out what they want, what they're trying to do. But I ain't trying to lock in nobody today. I am off until Friday morning. So they're going to have to book whatever they're going to book for Friday morning, and we'll take it from there. Because tonight and tomorrow, I am going to be resting and relaxing, sipping that scissor, and working on closing this deal. So I told you guys before, I said the way things are going right now, that we're going to have a ton of things that are happening in our country that's going to be making money for us if we get involved in it. So I'm going to get involved in it. I'm going to make sure that I redirect all of my capital into all of the best places so that I can see results by the end of the year. And that way I can tell you it's going down. He said that noise, LOL. Look now. I told you I got 3 phones sitting over here right now. See, I got a S23 Ultra over here. I got a A14 over here. I got another phone over there. I got a bunch of stuff going on right now. I ain't playing no games. And this one is providing the internet to the thing because the hotspot system, the internet system over here is down. So where T-Mobile sent me another SIM card, and it is still not powering because the tower's down. So as we try to get everything situated, that's another reason why I am sometimes late with the podcast, because the internet, I have to make sure that the internet is working, because I don't want to drop signal like we dropped signal when we were talking about guns on Monday. I want to make sure that I don't drop signal. You're talking about CO GTA 6. Yo, bro, I am definitely getting GTA 6. I heard that it was supposed to be out this fall, either this fall or at the beginning of next year. I'm going to be looking into that. But see, I got to do a whole scenario here, because I'm going to have to buy GTA 6. I have to buy the console for GTA 6. I got to find a console that houses GTA 6. I prefer Xbox, but I like the PlayStation controller, so I might get the PlayStation. But GTA 6 is on my to-do list. That is the one game that I will do during this podcast if necessary, because GTA 6 is where it's at. But if I'm going to be doing GTA 6 while streaming, I got to get more equipment to connect my gaming console to my laptop, or connect my gaming console to a monitor where that monitor is connected to my laptop, so that I can share screen the gaming that I'm doing while I'm talking to you guys on a podcast at the same time, which is going to be like a picture-in-picture situation. It's going to be a lot of stuff going on. But I'm going to make sure that I put all that stuff together so that if I'm playing GTA 6 while I'm talking to you guys on a podcast, at least once a week. I'm gonna have to do that once GTA 6 comes out, and then we'll see where things go. Or I might do 2 shows a day where I do one recording, one pre-recording of me playing GTA 6 and play that in the daytime and do my live show at night, something like that. That way you guys can get a little bit of both worlds. But I am definitely a big fan of GTA 6. You're going to see me on that coming soon. He said, you ain't got no Anchor portable battery. No, there isn't a no, this is plugged in. This is plugged in. This one's plugged in. This one's plugged in. There's no, everything is going. I got a 12-prong wall, a surge protector over here from General Electric that you can get from Home Depot for $50, and it just, everything goes into that thing. He said, Mr. Grinch is gonna be my idea. I don't know. Yeah, I might actually get on GTA 6 and make a character in my likeness, and then create a faction that has my podcast name on it, so that everybody who jumps into GTA 6 can jump the podcast or jump into the I said jump the podcast, jump into the podcast, join the podcast. Don't attack me. I ain't coining up. I'm gonna be one of the lowest value players on the game. Look, there goes another one. I got another alarm. Back to back. They want to know what I got going on. He said, wish more people join the chat. Good chatting. Well, the reason why a lot of people don't join the chat, I don't have portable batteries. He said that it zooms. The reason why a lot of people don't join the chat is because a lot of people are watchers. They're lurkers. They're the kind of people that will come into the chat and watch. And if they like what they hear, they'll hang around and listen to everybody else have a conversation. There's a lot of people that don't want to be seen because they weren't dressed to be on the live podcast, because they can click the link. Because I tell you what, every day I put a new link into the comment section, and if they didn't feel like typing, because I know there's a lag on the show when I talk real fast, they can click that link, approve the mic, approve the camera. It'll bring them into my green room, and then I can put them up on the screen in real time. Now I understand that I've got a 9x16 situation going on, but if I know that I got 8 or 10 people coming onto the podcast that's actually going to get up live on a podcast, I would switch this to a 16x9 situation, and then give everybody a 2x2 section where we can all be up here listening to each other talking and see each other talking. Or you could turn off your screen and just have your voice up there where we all can get up here and have a group conversations, and everybody gets to get their voice on the screen, which helps with text appreciation with the auto text. But I mean, yeah, that's what we do. He's like, green rooms. Yeah, well, there's no Skittles and M&Ms in the green room, bro. The green room, it brings you off into the drop down over here, and I'm able to look at you guys in the drop down, make sure that you're over the age of 18 before I put you up onto the screen, because this is an adult channel. Not supposed to have kids up here talking about adult stuff. So I see you, and then I know that you've grown, and then I put you up there, and then we can talk about whatever we want to talk about, as long as our conversations are reasonably appropriate, because we do have community guidelines that we have to adhere to. We have less community guidelines that we have to adhere to in the membership. If you pay for subscriptions, we can get a little bit more inappropriate, but we still have some community guidelines that we have to adhere to, even in the private shows that are for the members only. So we've got all those things going on. But he said, hashtag green room, the movie. That's crazy cool movie. Is that on Netflix? Is that on Netflix? I'm gonna look for that if that's on Netflix. I might try to watch that tonight. Because so I have the rest of the shows put up except for Sunday. So I've got tomorrow night show, Friday night show, and I also got the NAACP show for Saturday, and then I got to put up the Sunday night show. So you can hit a notification button on all 3 of the shows coming up for the next 3 days, and it'll tell you as soon as we go live. It'll tell you 30 minutes before we're going live, so that you don't miss us. And if you want to watch us on Twitch, because I know that Red Void watches us on Twitch more often than not, if you want to watch us from Twitch, you can do that as well. If you want to watch us from Twitter, you can do that as well, because I should be making sure that you can see us live from Twitter as well, coming soon, because we got to make a lot of adjustments. Because I got to get a stream key for each platform. And since TikTok is back, I don't really feel comfortable with diving into TikTok until Trump owns TikTok, because once the U.S. has signed off on it, then I can say that that's a positive investment, and then I'll put some money into having TikTok connected to us. But right now, I can do the three channels, and that's not going to be an issue. He said, you got to keep it kosher and Rasputin at the same time. You're right. The Adjustment Bureau. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of things that we got to do to keep things flowing. Everything I do is to improve the quality of the podcast. I include the entertainment that you guys are going to get from the information, because it is primarily informational. It's not just to be here just shooting a breeze. I hope that you have the opportunity to learn something, even if you don't learn anything. I learn something 365 days a year, because I do research for every topic that I put up on the show. So I learn something, and then I share what I learned with you guys. So if y'all don't learn anything, that's not on me, because I made sure that I was educational. But, you know, we will get more people on the show communicating, coming soon. I know that I had Vera that used to be on here on a regular basis, but we had some time zone issues. And then I had some overtime issues that was interfering with my ability to be consistent with the time zone that I was airing on. So Vera stopped coming in, but when Vera starts coming back in, it'll be me, you, Vera. Red Void is on here from Twitch, which, because I put everybody's comments up here, if Red Void gives a shout out, you'll see a Twitch icon under his name. Where you're talking from YouTube, you see a YouTube icon from him. And when we get individuals talking to us from Twitter, you'll see the Twitter X icon under their name. So it just shows you that that's one of the reasons why I share you guys' comments, so that if I've got 3 different platforms of people communicating at the same time, I can put everybody's comments up until it starts becoming too many. And then, of course, we're probably going to have to start tipping to get your name up there. Like Max the Poser, who put up like $35 or $40 in a day. What's his name? Reese Martinez had thrown up $10 just to give a shout out and a special thank you. So you guys can always throw a special thanks, special likes, special comments up there. If they're appropriate, I let them ride for a little bit longer on the channel, and they end up in the shorts reels. So, as long as your comments are appropriate, you throw some money behind it, it gets green lighted, red lighted, and it's up there. So as the podcast improves, because this is a small podcast, and as social media starts to die down, because there's going to be less politics talked about. So Donald Trump is going to be trending less, because he's got work to do now. So he's going to be trending less. And that's going to give us, the rest of us small podcasts, more of the YouTube platform, because just like with money, YouTube actually funnels 97% of the traffic to 3% of the top performers. So the rest of us that are under 1 million views or under 1 million subscribers, we ain't getting shit. So it's not evenly distributed. So they're not putting more focus on the ones that don't have large subscribers. So we gotta grind from the bottom up. We gotta be underdogs. And I don't mind that. I know some podcasts that are 10 years in the making, and those are the guys that are 10, 11, 12 years in the making that got 4.5 million followers with 0.1% retainership. I'm hoping that by the time I get to 1 million followers, that I've got 50% retainership, where half of the people that subscribe to my channel are watching my channel on a daily basis. Because to have 4.5 million people on your podcast, and you've only got like 4,000 or 40,000 people watching your podcast, yeah, that's good money. But I would prefer to have a couple million people watching my podcast, where at least 50% of my membership is watching my shit on a regular basis. That's what I would prefer. So I don't mind being small going up. He says, love Revolutionary War history and upstate New York. Okay, well, if I can find something about the Revolutionary War history that's actually relevant to what we got going on with business and finance, I'll try to piece that together and throw that into one of the shows in the upcoming weeks. You said Al Sharpton from 1776. You mentioned that on Monday. He's yelling at the Constitutional Army with leather coat on to keep marching. I remember you said that before. You said that on Monday. That is true. You guys got to keep going. You got to keep grinding. And that's one of the things that I tell everybody on a regular basis is that while we try to make it make sense, we got to also have a mission, and we have to keep working towards that mission. You don't know why. You don't know why what? You don't know why they're giving all of the views to the top 3%. Well, because everybody's paying. If you know that out of the money that I got from people donating to the podcast, YouTube took half of it. So if I have a bunch of people throwing money to my podcast, YouTube makes more money off of me. So it's a business. It's still a business. This isn't about, First Amendment right to free speech and this, that, and a third. It's a business. I'm on here to get paid to be on here. They have me on here because they're getting paid because I'm on here. The ads that run, they're getting paid for the ads that run. I'd probably have more ads run on my channel if I wasn't in the shorts feed, but I get a revenue share from a shorts feed for my live podcast, which isn't nearly as much as the live distribution feed, but it's better than paying for advertisement to redirect traffic to the podcast. He said it's because they wanted to give up then, and it was cold like it is cold now. I don't know. Yeah, well, bro, people are quitters. So, yeah, that's going to be the thing. Reminding them that we have something that we're supposed to be achieving and making sure that they help us achieve that is what he's going to do. He's going to keep telling them, no, you've got to keep going. You've got to keep going. Don't stop. Don't quit. I know you're tired. I know that you're hungry. I know that Popeyes is doing a discount today, but you're going to have to put that fried chicken fetish to the side for today because this is something important. We can celebrate and eat and party and everything once we get there. But until we get there, we must keep going. Yes, because had they not marched to the Capitol, we probably would not have the semi-equality that we have now. It's just something that we've got to think about. If we would have put our efforts where they were supposed to be over the past 40 years, we probably would see more progressive movement. But because a lot of us are wasteful with our spending and misdirecting our attention to stuff that don't matter, not much progress has been made. You say, yeah, that was my point. Yeah, so you're right. You're right about that, Cody. You're definitely right about that. So, he said then Andrew Jackson became the animal he became. These guys, when it comes down to doing what you know is right, not everybody in your family is going to do that. So you can make a name for yourself and then your kids can destroy your name. Just like Zimmerman. The Zimmerman name is far and wide in American history. And then George Zimmerman. So, and I don't really got to go into detail about that. I can just say the Zimmerman name is back in the 1800s, and then George Zimmerman. So, all I can tell you is that it is important to maintain your character, maintain your family name's character, maintain the lineage that was built by your ancestors, and then become one of the forefathers that is building that generational wealth for the lineage that you have after that. Me, myself, I know that when I build my generational wealth, I'm going to be just like the top 1%. I'm going to have my favorites. I'm going to have the ones that did not deserve it because they were never here. You think that we're going to give it to everybody? Nah, there's going to be a select few. After putting in decades into trying to make your children successful, you got some kids that they're just not going to be in the will. They're not going to be on the trust. They're not. They ain't getting nothing because they ain't do nothing. And then those that paid attention, followed instructions, and learned, those are going to be the ones that's going to inherit it all. They're going to inherit the operation. They're going to be able to work towards the success and betterment of the operation. So, yeah. And I got to tell you, it's not cheap to start up a trust. I was looking into those trusts, and those trusts are pretty pricey. They can be the cheaper ones that have very little assets in them can be as low as $500 to $1,000. And they got some that are more complex with more assets involved that could be as high as $10,000. You've got some that require annual maintenance or monthly maintenance that could be $10,000 a month. I mean, $10,000 a year. So you've got to think about that. When you start creating your trust, you've got to have capital to create the trust. You have to have capital to put to get out of the trust. You've got to be able to have a whole investment plan. So you got to start by building wealth first, get you some money. And then after you get that money, then you want to be able to take that money and put it into a trust after you can afford to establish a trust. But until you can afford to establish a trust, you can just keep moving your money around. He says, Ben Franklin got yelled at for an hour and then flew back. Woo! But they put him on $100 bill. You know, I'm at $200, like Mr. Monopoly. Turning your pockets inside out, huh? Make sure that y'all like and subscribe as y'all pop in here. Yeah, that is what it is. I am out of information. You know that? I pieced together about an hour and a half worth of information. I thought it might have would have ran 2, especially if those 2 hecklers would have jumped in. But I am out of information. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a pin in it for tonight because I do got to make tomorrow night's show. I do got to make sure that I piece together all the stuff for Saturday night because I am going to talk about that DEI and NAACP thing, and I was going to have a lot of information packed down for that, and I got to try to find a way to make sure that I'm not running into my Asian clients' hours because I do got to make sure that I take care of all of my clients because I do have multiple businesses. This is just one of them. This isn't a hobby. This is a job, and this is just one of them. So I want to make sure that you guys remember to like and subscribe. On my way out, ladies, as I always say every night, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you ladies to make it make sense. So please, ladies, make it make sense. And fellas, I really appreciate you guys for coming to the podcast. Cody, Reese, Liberty Twitcher, I appreciate you guys. Red Void, Omni81, Mr. Pibbs, Courtney, the big shout out to her. And anybody, AJ, anybody else that I forgot off the top of my head because I got y'all, most of y'all scrolling across the top of the screen. Special shout out to Romania, Brazil, Russia. We did a show on them yesterday. They're about 30% of our following this last month. We really appreciate you guys as we keep doing what we're doing. He says, oh yeah, that's a Union Jack. These dad jokes are awesome. I love it. And I really appreciate you guys for coming to the podcast. So I'm going to tell you guys one more time. Thank you for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander. As we're going to be talking about this, that, and everything in between coming tomorrow. So I'm going to see you guys tomorrow night.
Higher ground. Used to chase validation, now I validate myself. That's my personal command. I'm not mounted on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never yield.